feel like it was Lutnick, who himself now is further implicated in this thing, not for sexual reasons, but
he was traveling at the island?
Yeah, Lutnick basically, not basically, said, I met the guy in 2005. Yeah. I thought he was disgusting. Right. I thought he was a creep.
My wife and I agreed never
to have anything to do with him. Right. Meanwhile, he was in contact with Jeffrey Epstein up through 2018.
With his family having lunch on the island.
Yeah, going to the island.
And our friend Todd Blanche just said yesterday on Fox, it's not a crime to party with Mr. Epstein.
I'm gonna say, you know what? If you're partying with Mr. Epstein, he did. He said, if you're partying with Mr. Epstein, you are committing a crime. I can pretty much guarantee it.
Yeah.
Jim is so confidently wrong that he persuades you that he's right.
I'm right most of the time.
That's the problem. You are right most of the time. So the 30% where you're just wildly off base.
30%'s high.
It is Have I Got News for Your Ears, the podcast extension of the Have I Got News for You cinematic universe. I am Michael Ian Black, co-captain of Have I Got News for You, joined by producers Jodi Lennon, Jim Biederman. Do you want to talk about the news and shit?
Or we could just talk about theater school.
I'm happy to talk about theater school. Yeah, I mean, when I'm wearing a scarf in this manner, all I want to do is talk about theater school.
Where's the rest of the scarf? It's stuffed in your...
It's stuffed in my sweater.
So let's talk about the news. This is going to be slightly, order of importance?
We don't know. That's the thing. We don't know what the order of importance is because it's Bannon-esque. So everything's on the wall. And we don't know how much shit is dripping and where it's going to end up dripping and whose mouth it's going to drip into.
The ultimate goal is to flood the zone with shit.
Exactly.
Here's a fair amount of shit to drip down the wall to flood the zone. Over the weekend, the FBI raided voter rolls.
Delicious.
Are really good.
I could use two voter rolls.
Do you get the handmade or get them rolled?
Do you get them heated when you get them, or do you just get them?
I get them heated, and I just
you get cross-bun voter rolls.
I open it up, one slice of ham, in between two.
Those are so good. What I do is I'll take a slice of ham, a couple hanging chads, on a brioche. Call that my voter roll. Delicious.
Brioche.
Delicious.
Hanging chads.
Yeah.
I wanted to inject something
I
to bring it back.
Yeah, I hear you.
And they went down there. The FBI went down there to Fulton County, Georgia. Devil went down to Georgia, and this happened.
FBI agents this week descended on the Fulton County Elections Office near Atlanta, seizing ballots, voter rolls, and scanner images, even though investigations have found zero evidence to support Trump's false claims of election fraud. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard's presence at the raid raised questions because her role traditionally does not involve domestic matters.
Her role does not involve domestic matters. In fact, at all.
At all. But she had to go down there. Yeah. It was important that she go down there because somebody's got to pass this information on to the Russians.
Correct.
They don't know.
No.
They need eyes and ears on the ground. We should be talking about that. I mean, it's a big story that they're just stealing boxes from Fulton County.
Yeah. A predominantly Democrat-leaning county in Georgia, which I think
and
it's
predominantly African-American as well, I believe.
That as well.
And for going on years now, 5-6 years, Trump has been saying the 2020 was stolen.
842 votes.
And I feel confident predicting they're going to find tremendous evidence of fraud, suppression, foreign interference. And at which point Tulsi Gabbard will be like, thank God I was there.
Yeah.
Yes.
This election thing
go ahead.
is really, really bad.
Yeah.
And the reason, in my mind, it's really, really bad, because I'm a paranoiac and a conspiracist, is this is all about creating conditions to declare the midterms invalid. That's all this is about.
Correct. This is not backwards looking. This is
forwards looking.
Correct.
This has nothing to do with 2020.
I don't think that's paranoid.
We're looking backwards so that we
because
can
you're
prepare
paranoid too. For
the future. What's happening?
What do you mean by
what
that?
Do you mean?
Wait,
what do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean I'm paranoid?
So I think this is setting the stage for the invalidation of the 2020 midterms when the Democrats sweep, which they will, as we just saw in Texas this week.
Correct.
When a red district Well, I can't. I have to. I can't
Yeah,
naturally
no.
segue.
Yeah, you can naturally segue. Let's go ahead. Texas.
All the work we do.
Texas. No, you're right.
All the ground laying.
There was a flip.
I know, but now I feel like, oh, geez, I need
No, you
Joe's
can say
permission
go
to
ahead,
segue.
talk about it.
There's a district in Texas, a state.
Fort Worth.
Oh, it's Fort Worth. This is a state legislature
Correct.
Election that hadn't had a Democrat since, I think, 92 or something.
Correct.
And just flipped
Dramatically.
a 17. The Democrat won, I think, by something like 17 points.
Democrats picked up a stunning victory in a special election runoff for a Texas state Senate seat. Taylor Ramett flipped the solidly red Senate District 9, which represents Fort Worth and some surrounding suburbs, defeating Republican Lee Wamsgans by 14 points. It's a part of Tarrant County where no Democrat has won a state Senate seat since 1978. But President Trump won this district by 17 points back in 2024 and had posted in support of the Republican 3 separate times on social media in the 2 days leading up to the Saturday special election.
Are we all laughing at the same thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm laughing at
We're
that.
laughing at.
I'm
We're
laughing
laughing
at his
in
name.
anticipation.
2,
Lee
1.
Grant.
Lee Wamsgans.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not what I was
We were
laughing
laughing
at.
at his name.
No, I was laughing because.
Yes, of this.
Because. Well, why don't you just say it?
Mr. President, Texas, a Democrat won your special election in an area that you had won by 17 points. What is your reaction to
I
that?
don't know. I didn't hear about it. Somebody ran where?
In Texas, a special election for legislative
The 9th state Senate seat.
I'm not involved in that. That's a local Texas race.
Did you endorse the Republican?
You mean I won by 17
You did.
and this person lost? Things like that happen.
Does it worry you about the
Well, you don't know whether or not it's transferable. You know, I'm not on the ballot, so you don't know whether or not it's transferable. No, I don't know anything about it. I didn't know. I mean, I know there's a race going there, and it's too bad. What can I say? I have nothing to do with it.
So I did a show called
Yes.
I'm with Busey.
Oh.
Okay. And with Gary Busey.
Congratulations.
Thank
it
you
was
very much.
a real, it was a
It made
special
us
time.
all 15 years older working with him for 6 months. One Sunday morning, Jen calls me. I'm with the kids at Disneyland.
Jen is your wife.
My wife. And she says, does your office have a green...
And my girlfriend.
And
But
your
keep going.
What?
Yes.
That's weird. Does your office have a green awning? I said, yeah, why? She goes, I think the office building burned down. I was like, what are you talking about? So I call Chris Gillen, who was one of the producers on the show, who lived near our office. He goes, I'll walk the dog over there. Check it out. Like, no one took a second. He calls me maybe 10 minutes later. He goes, yep. Whole building burned down. So we divvy up our staff. We'll take 2 weeks hiatus. We'll figure out what we're going to do. Our Avids were in there, everything. We just thought, oh, shit, we're fucked.
Avid is editing
editing
equipment.
Hey,
Yes.
Michael, don't get any ideas.
And
okay?
so then,
If this building were to burn down, just hypothetically, how many weeks off would I get?
a week. So then we divvy up and called the staff, and I finally wait till the very last person to call, which is Gary, because he's so fucking annoying. And he would do this thing where he's deaf in one ear, so he'd always answer the phone to that ear. So we'd go like this. Hello? And you're like, hey, Gary, it's Jim. Who? Jim Biederman. What? Switch the phone. Hang on, I'm going to switch the phone over. Like every single fucking time. And he goes, hey, what's up? Who's this? I said, it's Jim Biederman. What do you want? I said, hey, listen, we're going to take a 2-week hiatus. Blah, 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 blah. Why? I said, well, our office burned down. I didn't do it. I said, I didn't say you did do it. I'm just saying there's good because I didn't do it. I had nothing to do with it. I was like, no, but Gary, I'm not saying you
So
did.
Gary Busey burned down your building?
I get off the
Sure,
phone.
right?
I get off the phone. I'm like, that motherfucker burned my office. So to this day, I still don't know. Like, why would that be? Well, I didn't do it. Like, it was like, I'm not calling to see who did it.
And your case in point is
That feels.
that does
this
feel like-
last end here.
It's too bad. What can I say? I have nothing to do with it.
I didn't burn it down.
But of course, the irony, of course, is that the only reason he would have lost that district in Texas is because of that fuck right there.
Exactly. Here's your favorite.
I got the horse right here. His name's
Your
Paul
favorite
Reddy.
musical comedy star, Harry Enta.
So, you see this 31-point shift to the left, right? If this were just one election, that would be one thing.
I like his Sammy Davis. You
doesn't-
guys just one election.
He does the rat pack. He does everything.
He's amazing.
He's incredible.
He's unbelievably talented.
I want to see his one-man show in Vegas. If anybody deserves a residency in
right.
Vegas, it's this
You
guy.
are right.
He does impressions,
Yeah,
he does
yeah,
songs,
yeah,
he dances,
yeah.
he probably plays the drums like Sammy.
Yeah,
He probably does
probably. I
everything.
hope so.
But it's the slew of special elections that together paint a picture, and it's a picture that Democrats should love and a picture that Republicans should be really worried about. The average 2025, 26 special election, Democrats are doing, get this, 12 points better. 12 points better than Kamala Harris did in 2024. You know, that was a state special election that happened in Texas on Saturday. If you look at the federal special elections, this 12 points is actually north of 15 points on average. Okay, so you see this 12-point overperformance. You see this 31-point overperformance. But that don't mean nothing if it ain't forecastable to the midterm elections. So what are we looking at here? Well, take a look at special elections since all the way back in the 2005-2006 cycle. 5 out of 5 times the party that outperforms in the special elections goes on to win the U.S. House of Representatives. Democrats look like they're in the catbird seat to take back the U.S. House come 2026 November.
Which is why Ron DeSantis and others are nervous this morning. Harry.
They should be.
And what's the news from Europe, Harry Enton, where the boys are marching across Italy and making their way to Berlin?
So how are we supposed to believe those
I honestly
numbers?
didn't hear a word he said. I was only focused on Harry, the individual. Hold that thought. We'll be right back. In the meantime, if you want, and no pressure, become a member. Just click the little member button, and then it gives you access to all kinds of things. All right, we're back. Everybody understands what's happening here.
Yeah.
The Democrats are poised to sweep because the Trump regime policies are so deeply unpopular. And as we all know, Trump and his cronies are desperate to stay in office. As Bannon said on stage a couple of months ago, if we lose, a lot of us are going to jail, myself included.
Right.
So it's not like this isn't like an idle sort of exercise that they're doing. This is desperation. I mean, they need to stay in office for them to continue to enact their radical agenda, and this is how they're going to do it.
Well, here we go.
These people were brought to our country to vote, and they vote illegally. And amazing that the Republicans aren't tougher on it. The Republicans should say, we want to take over. We should take over the voting in at least 15 places. The Republicans ought to nationalize the voting. And we have states that are so crooked, and they're counting votes. We have states that I won that show I didn't win. Now you're going to see something in Georgia where they were able to get, with a court order, the ballots. You're going to see some interesting things come out. But, like the 2020 election, I won that election by so much. Everybody does it.
They might have like a series of impersonators that are just making the calls.
They should. They'd be more coherent than him.
Like,
So-
what show
so-
was that, by the way?
That was the Don
Bongino.
Oh, right.
His podcast, because now he's back to making money out of the FBI.
Right,
You
now
know,
that he
that
cleaned up the
fucking
FBI.
Bullshit.
So what 15 states do you think he's talking about?
Well, how many? 15?
Alabama, Texas,
No.
Mississippi,
No.
the
you're
ones that
the-
historically have disenfranchised voters are the ones he's concerned about.
Oh,
Louisiana.
I was going to go with New York,
What?
California.
What?
Yeah.
Because you're naming Democratic states that tend to vote Democratic.
Holy fuck, you're right.
Wait a
Wait a
minute.
second. That son of a bitch.
But Harry Enton just said that we were going to be winning.
Exactly.
Here we are.
Guess what? You don't think Trump doesn't watch Enton? Everybody watches Enton.
Back to voter rolls.
Yeah, back to them. They're delicious.
Mm-hmm.
What's Tulsi going to find?
So Tulsi Gabbard is down there, and once Trump comes out on Bongino,
Yeah.
on his podcast,
Bongino.
I don't want to be rude. I don't
No,
know.
I know.
I think
know.
it is. Don
Bongino.
Dan or Don?
Dan Bongino.
Okay, it's hard to remember.
You're going to find all this shit down, and it's going to expose the need to nationalize, which is probably the single most anti-constitution move you could make. We're a country made of federal states that maintain our own
we're
vote.
arresting journalists. That's also.
And to reiterate, she has no business being there.
No, I'm not. But by the way, if it were nationalized and it was at a federal level, Yeah, you could better argument.
I think the argument that Gabbard would make is that they're looking for signs of foreign interference, and therefore, as the director of national intelligence, she needs to be there in case.
Also, she's looking for Dalmatians. She's trying to make a coat.
That's entirely possible. She could be looking for smuggled agricultural products that came in.
That is so much her ballywick. Here we go.
A lead tonight, an answer as to why President Trump's Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, was on the scene when FBI agents seized truckloads of 2020 ballots at a Fulton County, Georgia election center last week. The New York Times reports that President Trump personally ordered the Director of National Intelligence to go to Atlanta for this operation, according to a U.S. official. The Times also reporting that the day after the raid, Ms. Gabbard used her cell phone to call Mr. Trump. The president addressed the FBI agents on speakerphone, asking them questions as well as praising and thanking them for their work, unquote.
Did you find it? Did you find the
11,850 votes?
Did you find the weapons of mass destruction in there? Was that where they are?
Hey, guys, you're doing a real
doing
good
great.
job.
Everybody's very proud of you.
So CNN, again, you know what? I'm actually very proud of CNN. They're like a dog with a bone on this one.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Jim. Can you get your nose any deeper into CNN's rectum? My God.
Were they playing a little REM at the top of that clip?
It does sound like REM.
It was Shiny Happy People.
That's Tapper's theme song, and it does have a little REM jangle to it.
Yeah. Here's everyone's favorite deputy attorney general and
former
personal lawyer
for Donald Trump.
Todd Blanche?
It's Blanche, right?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Don't really care. Denying or even just like, what's the big deal about Tulsi and the election? And
I don't know why the director was there. She is not part of the grand jury investigation, but she is for sure a key part of our efforts at election integrity and making sure that we have free and fair elections.
Why? Why is she for sure that?
We don't know.
She's an expert in that space.
No, she's not.
No.
She's not an expert in anything.
That would make sense. It would make sense if she was an expert in that space. Everybody should lead with the fact that she's an expert in that space. And then we'd be like, oh, that makes sense. She's there. She's an expert in that space. She needs to be there. Because who do you want there? The person who's an expert in that space.
Remember when I built the nuclear reactor in my garage and I called you? Because you're an expert in that.
Yes.
She's an expert in this space the way RFK is an expert in vaccines.
Yeah.
And it's a big part of what she and her team look at every day. But beyond that, I don't.
I believe him when he says that. They look at it every day.
Too.
Illegally, they look at it every day.
Just as a sidebar, but it's related. You've heard this story from yesterday that there is a whistleblower complaint against Tulsi Gabbard.
Correct.
That is apparently so explosive
it will never see the light of day. That's how explosive
it's
it is.
in a congressional safe somewhere.
I saw that too. What do you think it is?
That she works for the fucking Russians.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Which is what everybody's been saying for 10 years.
She's definitely, I
don't know.
She definitely worked for the Russians openly with RT. She got paid by that Russian Today.
Oh, I thought you were talking about one of the Wu-Tang clan.
Maybe that's the
that too.
Maybe that's the expertise they're talking about.
Right. Well, then it makes sense.
Isn't the fact that there is a whistleblower kind of starting to whisper about this?
Clearly, the fact that we're even hearing that there's a complaint means somebody's leaking something.
Somebody's leaking it.
It's the same way I feel about the Epstein, the remaining 6 million files of the Epstein Files. Wouldn't it be great if someone did a Daniel Ellsberg and released the equivalent of the Pentagon Papers? I keep hoping for someone to do it. I don't care that you're going to prosecute me. I'll go to jail. I mean, that's what Daniel Ellsberg basically said. Send me to jail. Mm-hmm. This is more important. My love of my country and what I guess the Rand Corporation and the Pentagon did to America through Vietnam, the Vietnam War, is disgusting, and I'm going to release these papers. And they knew it was a failure from 1958.
But why do you want them to release papers about the Vietnam War now, Jim? It doesn't make any what is that going to do? It doesn't make any sense.
Right. As I'm saying it, I'm thinking what's he thinking? He's thinking.
Yeah.
I can tell he's thinking.
He gets a little
what's the joke? Where's he going to go with the joke? By the way, bravo.
Thank you. I thought it was pretty good.
It was very good.
My wife makes fun of me for that. She goes, you try so hard not to laugh. I can see the corners of your mouth.
She's talking to you again?
Yeah, she hates me. I don't know. I mean,
I don't think we have that world anymore.
That's sort of the point that I was about to make, and you made it much more concisely than I think I would have. We don't have that world because nothing that gets released at this point is going to move the needle. We know that because they just released the Epstein Files, and it's not moving the needle at all, despite.
Right.
Have you looked through it at all?
A little bit.
Have you looked through it at all?
No.
It's insane. It's insane because you go to the justice.gov, whatever it is, and first of all, it makes you verify that you're over 18 because the content is going to be disgusting. Then you can just type in like any search word. There's
porn and dispensaries. Those are the two places that ask you the same online.
Yeah, porn, dispensaries, Epstein Files.
Yeah.
And you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, I can see why you did it. So you just write in any random word like, butts, and you'll get 100 things, and some of them will be like, Ghislaine wants to know what you want to do with the cigarette butts that are out on the patio. Should we just clean those up, or should we leave them for the mate? And then some of them will be like, yeah, that 13-year-old had quite an ass on her, and it's like it's this
butts.
It's this random mixture of sort of pedestrian everyday life combined with like these random victim testimonies where somebody's talking about watching George H.W. Bush eat a baby while Henry Kissinger is getting sucked off, and you're like, what is this?
Well, those are like weird. Those are weird phone calls.
Yes, I'm not saying any of those are true, but you'll see all those things kind of grouped together in this mess. But I haven't spent a lot of time on it. What struck me is in the 10 or 15 minutes that I was looking at these, I came across multiple bizarre, insane, degenerate stories.
Right.
And I'm sorry, at least some of them are true.
Yeah.
Right.
You got 10,
absolutely true.
10 crazy stories. Good chance one of them's true.
Yeah, I don't think George H.W. Bush was eating babies. I'll be honest. That I mean, nibbling maybe, nibbling.
But check out what Kissinger's doing over there.
What's obvious, looking at the Epstein Files, is that the very best case scenario for what they represent, the best case scenario, is that Jeffrey Epstein had a group of friends who include some of the richest and most influential people in the nation and in the world. He had a group of those friends, and they would get together and rape children. That's the best case scenario.
Yeah.
The worst case scenario, as I understand it, is that Jeffrey Epstein, and again, I'm a paranoid and I'm a conspiracist, but this makes so much sense, was essentially freelancing for both the Russians and the Israeli intelligence services, and that the whole sort of sexual thing, while true for Jeffrey Epstein, I mean, he is an absolute degenerate pedophile abuser. Steve Bannon asked him in a documentary that he was making, "Are you the devil himself?"
How do you mean that, or something like that?
Right, and Epstein wasn't like, no. He's like, yeah, I don't think so. But
he
maybe.
said, interestingly enough, he said, and Bannon says, I mean, the devil's smart. Well, first of all, okay, the devil's smart. You're a smart guy, and he goes, and he says, well, the devil actually scares me a bit, like, because he realizes, this is not the right answer. The previous answer wasn't the right answer, which was, I don't know.
If you even have to consider the answer to that question, am I the devil himself?
Right.
Funny, I've never thought about that before.
So what I think is likely is that Epstein was sort of freelancing for both the Russians and the Israeli, that the whole sex thing was essentially a massive intelligence operation. These are all honey badgers, what do you call them? Honey pots?
They're honey badgers.
Honey badgers, yeah.
And you know what? They don't give a damn. No, honey pots.
Honey pots.
Yeah.
And the
in the parlance of spy trade.
Yes, to gain leverage, power, and influence over these individuals, incredibly influential, high-powered individuals, and
also,
and that's how Epstein was getting his money.
And
too.
and beyond just the traditional spy, they're pedophiles. These are pedophiles.
It's a pedophile.
This is now basically, I have footage or I have information that will damn you, not just for like, oh, I had an affair and my wife's going to leave me. This is going to ruin your life.
Will destroy you.
Right.
Yeah.
Do we think Ghislaine is going to say anything, or is
she's testifying?
She's going to do what's best for her.
Yeah.
Right.
So she'll say what she has to say.
But I mean, is she going to get pardoned?
No. No, I don't think so. I think that would be too explosive.
I will go one step further with the Epstein Files, but all of this stuff. So whistleblower documents and everything is that Donald Trump and the power base behind him, the Project 25s of the world, the
Peter Thiels.
Yeah, the Peter Thiels of the
also
world.
very involved in the Epstein Files.
I saw that.
Not that he himself was.
No,
but he's very involved with Epstein.
Yeah. Investments, I think.
Yeah, all kinds of shit.
They have done an incredibly effective job at reducing this idea of what is true and what is not true. What's a lie, what's true, who knows, who cares, da-da-da-da. So that now, no matter what comes out,
exactly,
everyone goes, I don't
Well,
know.
the other problem with it is, to your point, it's like nobody's reading the entire thing and reporting on the entire thing.
It's 3
and so
million
you're hearing
pages.
like bits and pieces, and some of it's true, and then some of it's not true, or like people are curating the information, and so depending on where you read the information, it already comes through a
filter, an editorial filter
of what they want
right.
you to believe.
So Jimmy Mulville,
yes,
one of our executive producers, created the show, texted me over the weekend and said, "Are you going to cover for this coming week any Epstein Files stuff?" Well, probably, but his take was really interesting because his take, which is British, being Prince Andrew, formerly Prince,
yeah,
the royal formerly known as Prince,
Prince, Andrew Mountbatten, is that his full name? Is basically like beyond, like he's just getting screwed over and over and over and over, not in a good way, meaning get rid of
that
him.
guy should be in the tower.
Exactly, and that it's just that Starmer's going to ask him to like basically. The government's very involved in these files, particularly, and they have a few other people. I think some
the British government,
House members or Parliament members who are resigning.
Yeah,
Mendelsohn, who's a Labour Party.
Yeah.
And they're all connected, and they've taken. It feels like British press / government / society has taken a much more serious take on the Epstein Files than Americans ever will.
Well, because there really is.
And he said, "You're going to cover the story." I was like. Unfortunately, we don't care about Prince.
But there's, because there's damning
well, they had to deal
evidence.
They had to deal with Gary Glitter, and once you've dealt with Gary
and
Glitter,
Jimmy Savile,
at that point, the whole nation is just on its knees,
like a pair of rotten teeth.
What were you saying, Jodi? I'm sorry. I had to make a Gary Glitter reference.
I know
it was so important.
It's too bad that anthem of his is so hooky.
What was it?
It's a
yeah, we don't hear that so much in the stadiums anymore.
But I was saying that the evidence against Prince Andrew, whatever his name is now, is so damning that
and overwhelming.
It's hard not.
Well, you saw the photos,
It's hard to overlook it. Yeah,
there's photos of him just sort of on all fours, crouched over what looks like an unconscious teenager, and there's multiple of these photos.
Yeah.
First of all, who took those photos?
I'm hoping Maxwell.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, and so he's kind of exhibit A, but he was there and he was doing that, which certainly lends, and nobody was like, hey, Andrew, you better knock it off, which lends credence to the fact that they were all there. They were all doing that shit. I mean, we basically know that at this point. So the question, I guess the only remaining question is, first of all, who? Because there's probably more people that are going to come out. What's Trump's role in all of it? And then third, what really was Epstein doing? What really was going on there? And how compromised are those people? And I suspect super fucking compromised because who was it that was saying, I feel like it was Lutnick, who himself now is further implicated in this thing, not for sexual reasons, but
he was traveling at the island?
Yeah, Lutnick basically, said, I met the guy in 2005. I thought he was disgusting. I thought he was a creep.
My wife and I agreed never
to have anything to do with him. Meanwhile, he was in contact with Jeffrey Epstein up through 2018.
With his family having lunch on the island.
Yeah, going to the island.
And our friend Todd Blanche just said yesterday on Fox, it's not a crime to party with Mr. Epstein.
I'm gonna say, you know what? If you're partying with Mr. Epstein,
he
did. He said if you're partying with Mr. Epstein, you are committing a crime. I can pretty much guarantee it.
Yeah.
Everybody knew what he was up to, so you don't go away with that person. You don't associate with that person.
You don't associate with the guy who has already pled to a charge of securing prostitution with a child.
I don't understand. So this is 2009. He's in jail down in Florida. In
part-time jail.
Part-time jail.
Fun jail.
Fun jail.
Will anybody be shunned? Will anybody
So the
be
only
harmed?
thing we've seen so far, and these are early days, is Andrew is just over the bow. He's done. That Mandelson dude in the UK
has
but
already
here,
resigned. Yeah.
Barry Weiss's newest medical hire,
right.
Peter Attila, who's all mixed up in the Epstein Files.
She's refusing to.
Amazing to me.
She's not.
So there was an
getting rid of it.
announcement saying Peter Attila will
doesn't
no
want
longer
to.
be a CBS medical correspondent. And then there's a story that came out this morning
Yeah.
that Barry is upset and wants to keep Peter Attila because doing otherwise would be letting the mob win. It's insanity. I don't know. The whole thing is so bizarre and Byzantine that it's impossible to make heads or tails of. Which answers, I think, your question, which means nothing is going to happen.
Right.
For a variety of reasons.
Right.
One, because there's so much, and it's so degenerate and so disgusting that you're like, well, that can't be true.
And I also heard, and that's where we're all at, which is also incredibly dangerous, is we're just like hearing secondhand from people who read things or people who share the information. But I heard that not all the survivors' names were redacted.
Yeah.
And
not all the
that
nude
was-
photos of the survivors were redacted.
And I
I'll
thought
say
the
something-
whole entire point of why they were holding on to them
That's
for
right.
so long was so
Well-
that they could handle them properly.
Well, they did
and make
redact.
sure-
They did redact the people they wanted to redact.
Correct.
So it was handled correctly from
Yeah.
their point of view.
In fact, I read one of the lead lawyers on who represents a lot of survivors put like bullet points. In some cases, they redacted them in the beginning of their file, and then at the end they're unredacted. Like it's so sloppy, but one could argue sloppy or
Intentional, yeah. I'm guessing more sloppy than intentional
Yeah,
because
because you're very giving.
Well, it's just that there's so much incompetence right now and so much from the top down that there was probably a lot of confusion about what to do, what
It's
not
a lot
to do.
of files.
I'm guessing it's sloppiness. They were, they're 6 weeks behind when the law mandates them to release.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Some of it I'm sure was intentional.
Apart from the erosion of the concept of truth, which Trump and his pals have done a very good job of, and the internet.
So did Aristotle.
I didn't see that coming.
That's our closer. So, and then, I don't know, the podcast just goes dark. The degradation of expertise, right? It's this also like, look, you could get some egghead who knows what the fuck they're doing. Or have you met Tulsi Gabbard? She's great. Like
she's an election expert.
Yeah, she's an election expert.
It's her area of expertise.
All because that piece of shit, that human piece of shit with legs, walks around and thinks because his uncle taught at MIT. Oh, I'm pretty smart.
Right.
Because my uncle was.
I was not even surprised that these things were dumped on Friday.
Yeah.
And on Monday, it really wasn't the biggest story.
No.
Like it had been sort of digested through the system and it was sort of gently shit out on Monday as people were kind of talking about it. And I'm looking at the coverage going, well, wait a minute. Like this is so deep.
Yes.
So explosive, so rotten in every facet that I don't know why this isn't 24/7 except for the fact that it's so rotten and so decrepit and so degenerate that I don't think anybody knows how to approach it.
Well, it's this logic of like, Minnesota was a thing to distract. Right. And then this is a distraction from Minnesota. Like,
right, this is a distraction from Melania.
It's the way we started.
I knew an old lady who swallowed a fly. I mean, it's just
Right.
like endless distractions. And then you start to go, are they distractions or is it just, this is the policy du jour?
Yeah.
But I'm hoping, because on Friday when we were working on the show, we tape on Fridays, and the Don Lemon news, we woke up to the Don Lemon news. So we knew that was going into the show last minute.
Yeah.
And then the Epstein Files, right?
Yeah.
Came out too. But it's not something we could put in a show last minute. Right? Because it's like something that really needs attention and you need to be really thoughtful.
Correct.
And my hope is that somebody is doing that right now. They're just being really thoughtful.
I imagine that is happening.
And somebody's going to do a good report. We
But
need
here's the
Diane
question.
Sawyer.
Do we trust? We do need Diane.
But we all should still vote, right?
I think we should. I don't know that it's going to make a difference at this point.
I mean, unless we can get them nationalized. I don't know why.
I mean,
I was being adorable. But of course we
As
should vote.
always.
But it's
Adorkable.
I'm taking it back From Zooey Deschanel.
You walked so she could, like, sort of weirdly skip.
Yeah, so she could awkwardly stumble into a room.
And sing, what's the song?
Sing some folk song with
The
her.
touch of cotton.
No, in Elf.
Right.
Yeah.
It's cold outside.
Oh, baby, it's cold outside.
That's good.
Thank you. I want to do Zooey Deschanel talking to Gary Busey.
Okay.
Hey, Gary.
I didn't do it.
Thank you, guys. We're going to come right back, and I'm going to play a game with a HIGNFYE fan, Lawrence. Stay tuned for that. It is now that time where I play a Have I Got News For You game with a fan of the show. Here to play along is an audience member from literally last week's taping. It's Lawrence. Hi, Lawrence. How are you?
Hi.
Where are you joining us from? Where is that?
Valley Stream, Long Island, the first town on the south shore of Long Island.
I read that you're writing a memoir about your father.
I am.
Can you tell me about it?
Sure. My dad is a U.S. West Indian. My dad's a West Indian, and he is a former U.S. I guess he's still a U.S. veteran, actually.
Yeah.
So he has come down with dementia, and I'm working on a book to just sort of blend our story and tell a little bit of his as well.
Well, what you're doing, I think, is something admirable. You're writing about your father's experience, and your own, and you're sharing with others one immigrant story. And it's those stories that I think will make the difference. But I don't want to stay in the muck and mire, because you're also doing something that I think is fascinating. You're putting the finishing touches on a spoken word cover of Janet Jackson's The Pleasure Principle. Tell me about that.
You might think I'm crazy, but I'm serious.
No, let me tell you something. Years ago, I was interviewing Lin-Manuel Miranda right before Hamilton in winter previews, and he described it to me. And I said, that sounds like either a genius idea or the dumbest idea I've ever heard. So when you tell me you're doing a spoken word cover of Janet Jackson's The Pleasure Principle, I don't doubt that you're serious about it. And moreover, I don't doubt that it could be really cool. So describe this project for me and why you're doing it.
Well, I always used to, I'm a big fan of Janet Jackson, foremost. Right?
Right, and that is the correct opinion to have.
And this song, I guess it was the last single off Control, and it just sort of struck me. And as I listened to it, as I listened to the lyrics, as a writer, I'm a lyric whore, right? So I really I came upon it, and it just struck me as how poetic it is.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited to hear this when it's done.
I'm going to release it this May, I think.
You ready to play a game?
I am. Let's play a game.
All right, man. This is Lie Curious. This is the game that we play here on the podcast. Here's the rules. I'm going to give you 3 facts about a celebrity, 2 of which are lies, 1 of which is true. So this is 3 facts about former local news reporter and 2024 Arizona Senate candidate, Arizona's Kari Lake. Do you know who Kari Lake is? Can you picture her?
I do.
Okay.
Sorry.
Your face. The subtext was everything. I do. All right. Here are 3 facts about Kari Lake. So I feel like I don't need to ask your opinion about her because I feel like I already know it. All right. Fact number 1. She is an award-winning axe thrower. Fact number 2. She auditioned twice to be a Chicago Bulls cheerleader. And 3, she was once taken off the air for a week after saying the F word. Which one is the truth? Do you want to go through them one by one?
Yes, please.
All right. Let's start with award-winning axe thrower. What do we think about Kari Lake and her axe throwing abilities?
I'm sure she throws axes.
I agree with that. That feels plausible, right? I mean,
right.
She's
award-winning?
Right. Well, that's the question. Is she award-winning in anything?
There's the question.
Right. We can believe that if you give her some sort of lethal implement, she will be more than willing to use it. The question is, would she ever receive an award for it? Okay, so let's put a pin in that one. She auditioned twice to be a Chicago Bulls cheerleader. Also plausible. She's an attractive woman. She's probably the right age where that would have been a thing that she would do. What do you think?
That could be the beginning of her demon origin story, where she, she's
Jeez, Lauren.
She's spurned.
The kid's not pulling punches here, right? The Chicago Bulls cheerleaders, right?
All of a sudden,
right. Maybe during the Michael Jordan era, she's like, I'm going to get to know Michael and Scotty and Dennis and all the rest of them. And then they said no. And then she turned evil. Entirely possible. And then number 3, we already know she is a local news reporter, or was. She was once taken off the air for a week for saying the F word. What do you think about that? The last 2 really got me. The F word. Would she have said the F word? That's the question.
I'm sure she would have. I mean,
but do you think she would have on air?
Oh, on air.
Right. That's why she got.
I think it would have caught her off guard if she did. I mean, she seems like she's not really always awake at the wheel.
So we've got, it seems like you've narrowed it down to Chicago Bulls cheerleader or taken off the air.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Chicago Bulls.
Okay. Lawrence's answer, she auditioned twice to be a Chicago Bulls cheerleader. Here is the truth. Carrie Lake was once taken off the air for a week for saying the F word back in 2019. During her time at a local Fox affiliate in Arizona, Lake was asked by station management to take a right-wing reference out of her station-branded Twitter account, and shortly after, she was caught on Facebook Live talking about it with a colleague, and I think we have a video of this. So let's roll that video.
So they don't want you tied into anything like that where you're going to get blowback from the New Times or whoever it is.
20-year-old dopes. That's a rag for selling marijuana.
I know.
Well, okay, so I hate to say it, but I feel like I'm on Carrie Lake's side on this one. She didn't know that she was on. It wasn't like she was on television. She was on the internet, and she happened to say an unfortunate word, which I would never say on television.
Yeah.
Lawrence, thank you so much for coming on Have I Got News for Your Ears. You're
thank you so much
guest.
For having me.
And good luck with the memoir.
The name is The name is not called Have I Got News for You. It's called How Soon We Forget.
How Soon We Forget. Oh, well, that's a lovely title. So thank you. Thank you for coming on. And I know that we're all looking forward to the spoken word cover of Pleasure Principle. I'm going to stream that shit on Spotify like you wouldn't believe. Thank you, Lawrence. Yeah, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining me on Have I Got News for Your Ears. I'm Michael Ian Black. I want to thank our HIGNFYE fan Lawrence for joining us for the game. I want to thank my co-pilots Jim Biederman, Jodi Lennon. I want to thank all of you. Join us again for a brand new episode of Have I Got News for Your Ears. Have I Got News for Your Ears releases new episodes every Wednesday. Don't miss an episode. You can subscribe to us on Apple or Amazon Music or wherever you get your podcasts. Even better, you can watch the VODCAST on Spotify or on the Have I Got News for You YouTube channel. While you're there, please follow us and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to the HIGNFYE YouTube channel and be sure to click the bell to stay on top of all our great content. Even better, become a member for exclusive content, early access to videos, members-only shoutouts, and more. Click the join button below.